What if I told you that your body's greatest threat after 55 isn't your heart, your brain, or even your bones, but something far quieter and far more preventable? Last year, an old friend of mine, Joe, turned 62. He always thought of himself as fairly healthy. He didn't smoke, his blood pressure was fine, and he still drove himself to go fishing every weekend. But then one afternoon, as he bent down to pick up a box in his garage, it felt like his back just gave out. It wasn't a major accident, it was just his body wasn't as strong as it used to be. A few weeks later, he noticed that climbing the stairs left him winded. Standing up from a chair became slower. Simple, everyday tasks that used to feel effortless now required effort and concentration. And that is exactly how muscle loss, or sarcopenia, silently sneaks in. There are no alarms, no obvious warning signs. By the time you start to feel weaker, more fatigued, the process has often been quietly unfolding for years. Research shows, after age 30, we begin to lose 3 to 5% of our muscle mass every decade. After 55, that rate accelerates even more. And by age 70, many people have lost up to 30% of their muscle strength, sometimes even more. But this is not a story about helplessness. This is a story about taking control, because muscle loss is not inevitable. It's optional. Even at 55, 65, or 75, your body still has the ability to rebuild strength. You can still regain stability, flexibility, and independence, just like you once had in your younger years, as long as you send the right signals. In today's video, we're going to explore why, after 55, your body requires very specific signals to continue building muscle. The common mistakes most people make when they believe just eating enough protein is enough. And most importantly, the incredibly simple, affordable, and surprisingly powerful foods that can flip your muscle building switch back on. This is not a fad diet. This is not about extreme workouts. This is a real, science-backed roadmap to help you regain control of your strength, balance, and confidence at any age. Because after 55, we're not chasing youth. We're building capacity. And your next decade can be stronger than you think. Number 1. The silent epidemic. Why muscle loss is the one health threat after 55. There's something interesting about human health. The things that are most dangerous often don't make any noise. Unlike a sudden heart attack, unlike a terrifying cancer diagnosis, muscle loss, or sarcopenia, doesn't announce itself. It creeps in quietly, one small change at a time. You might first notice it when standing up from your sofa feels just a little harder, carrying grocery bags makes your arms tremble, climbing stairs leaves you out of breath. And most people just shrug it off thinking, I guess I'm just getting older. But here's the scary part. Research shows that after 30, we lose about 3–5% of muscle mass every decade. After 55, the rate speeds up. By the time many people reach their 70s, they've lost 30% or even more of their muscle strength. When muscle declines, everything else follows. Higher risk of falls, faster bone loss, increased blood sugar problems, weaker immunity, even cognitive decline. That's why some doctors now call sarcopenia the most silent epidemic of aging. Let's return to Joe. A few years ago, Joe was driving himself to go fishing every weekend. But after some back pain and weaker knees, he became afraid of stairs. He sat more, moved less, and his muscles quietly grew weaker day after day. The key lesson here, muscle isn't just about how you look, it's about how you live. Muscle keeps you from falling, keeps your bones strong, lets you pick up your grandkids with confidence, and keeps your brain sharp because movement stimulates the brain. But here's the good news. Sarcopenia is not irreversible. Even at 55, 65, or 75, you can rebuild your strength if you know how to send your body the right signals. And in the next section, we'll explore exactly why your body stops responding to protein and how to fix it. Number 2, the aging anabolic switch. Why your body stops responding to protein. You know, when we're younger, building muscle feels almost effortless. Think back to your 20s. A few workouts, a few protein meals, a good night's sleep, and you'd feel stronger the next morning. That's because back then, your body soaked up protein like a dry sponge absorbs water. But after 55, something changes. Your body's muscle-building switch doesn't flip as easily as it used to. Science calls this anabolic resistance. So what exactly is happening? Every time you eat protein, your body breaks it down into amino acids, the building blocks of muscle. Among these, one amino acid stands out: leucine. Leucine is like the key that turns on a special growth pathway called mTOR, the master control for muscle building. When you're young, even a small amount of leucine is enough to activate mTOR. But after 55, your body needs a much larger dose to fully trigger this pathway. A study from the University of Birmingham showed that older adults need almost twice as much leucine as younger people to stimulate the same muscle growth response. Imagine it like this. When you're young, you only need to tap lightly on the door and it opens. After 55, you have to knock much harder to get that door to budge. That's why so many people say, "I eat plenty of protein, but I'm still losing strength." Or, "I drink my protein shakes, but nothing's changing." The problem isn't necessarily how much total protein you eat. The problem is whether you're getting enough leucine to actually flip the muscle-building switch. Let's go back to Joe. Even though he was eating chicken or fish at most meals, his leucine intake per meal was only about 1 gram, far below what his 60-year-old muscles needed to activate mTOR. The result? He had the building blocks, but the construction workers never showed up. The key takeaway here: protein quantity matters. But after 55, protein quality and leucine content matters even more. Fortunately, there are simple, affordable whole foods rich in leucine that can help flip that switch. One of which might already be sitting in your fridge. In the next part, we'll explore why whole eggs may be one of the most powerful muscle-building foods for aging bodies, and exactly how to use them. Number 3, Power Food 1. Whole eggs, nature's muscle growth package. When people think about building muscle after 55, many imagine expensive solutions: protein powders, supplements, celebrity diet plans. But one of the most powerful superfoods for muscle building is surprisingly simple: the humble egg. In a 2017 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, 2 groups of participants ate the same amount of protein after exercising. One group ate whole eggs. The other group ate only egg whites. The result? The whole egg group experienced 40% greater muscle protein synthesis than the egg white group. What makes the egg so special? Each whole egg provides about 0.5 grams of leucine, the key amino acid to activate mTOR. The yolk delivers essential nutrients: vitamin D, choline, B12, selenium, all critical for muscle growth. And cholesterol from the yolk serves as raw material for testosterone production. For people over 55, as testosterone and anabolic hormones naturally decline, the yolk becomes even more valuable in supporting hormonal balance. Let's return to Joe. After learning about his leucine deficiency, he started each day with 3 whole eggs, a half cup of oatmeal, a few blueberries. Within weeks, Joe noticed improved sleep quality, less post-workout soreness, more energy to take his grandkids for walks without needing to sit and rest. The key lesson here: sometimes the most powerful solutions aren't fancy. They're simple but intentional. Not every solution requires expensive supplements or trendy diets. Sometimes, a simple egg is the smartest starting point. And yes, some people worry about cholesterol. But large studies, including a 2020 meta-analysis in BMJ, have shown, for most people, dietary cholesterol from eggs doesn't significantly raise heart disease risk. In fact, eggs may actually improve HDL, good cholesterol levels, especially in older adults. Of course, if you have a rare genetic condition affecting cholesterol metabolism, consult your doctor. But for most healthy individuals, eggs are not the problem. Lack of muscle is. So, after 55, you need more than just enough protein, you need the right kind. And whole eggs deliver that powerful muscle-building package. But muscle building doesn't stop at protein. Your muscles also need strong blood flow to deliver nutrients where they're needed. And that brings us to the next surprising superfood: beets, nature's blood flow accelerator. Number 4, Power Food 2, beets, the blood flow accelerator. If protein is the building material for your muscles, then blood is the delivery truck that brings those materials to the construction site. But here's something many people over 55 don't realize. Blood flow slows down as we age. Over time, blood vessels stiffen, flexibility decreases, circulation to your large muscles like your legs, back, and shoulders diminishes. The result? Even if you eat enough protein, drink plenty of water, and exercise regularly, if your blood can't efficiently deliver nutrients to your muscle cells, progress stalls. Luckily, your body has a natural compound that helps open your blood vessels and improve circulation. Nitric oxide, no. Nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels, improves oxygen delivery, and helps shuttle nutrients directly to your working muscles. One of the easiest, most powerful ways to boost nitric oxide, nitrate-rich foods, and that's where the humble beet steps in. In a 2015 study published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, older adults drank beetroot juice before exercise. The result? A 38% increase in muscle power output without changing their workouts. Here's what happens inside your body. Nitrate from beets gets converted into nitrite by bacteria in your mouth, then into nitric oxide in your blood. Blood vessels relax. Oxygen and nutrients flow freely to your muscles. Your workouts become more effective and recovery improves. Let's check in with Joe again. After adding a half cup of beet juice each morning before his daily walks, Joe noticed easier breathing during exercise, longer, more comfortable walks, and surprisingly deeper sleep at night. The key takeaway here: sometimes it's not about eating more, it's about delivering better. You don't always need to increase your protein. You need to make sure that what you're eating actually reaches your muscles. Practical tip: drink a half to 1 cup of beet juice 1-2 hours before exercise, or simply roast or boil 1 small beet daily. If you dislike the taste, mix beet juice with a splash of orange or lemon juice. It improves flavor and absorption, but delivering nutrients is only half the battle. Once you've exercised and fueled your body, recovery becomes your next priority, and that's where inflammation can quietly slow everything down. In the next part, we'll explore how tart cherries help calm inflammation and optimize recovery naturally. Number 5, Power Food 3, tart cherries, nature's recovery drink. After a good workout, a solid meal, and a restful sleep, your muscles finally begin to repair and grow. But there's a hidden enemy that can block that process: chronic low-grade inflammation, what researchers call inflammaging. When you exercise, especially with resistance or strength training, your muscles experience tiny micro-tears, which is good. These tears signal your body to repair and build stronger fibers. But if inflammation stays elevated or lingers too long, your immune system may delay healing or even interfere with muscle growth altogether. That's where tart cherries, specifically Montmorency tart cherries, become powerful allies. In a 2011 study published in the Scandinavian Journal of Medicine and Science in Sports, athletes consumed tart cherry juice for 7 days. Result: significantly less muscle soreness and faster strength recovery compared to placebo. What's happening inside your body? Tart cherries contain anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that lower oxidative stress and reduce inflammation. They also naturally boost melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep cycle. Let's check in with Joe again. He often complained, "After even light strength training, I feel sore for 2-3 days, and it makes me want to skip workouts." After adding a half cup of tart cherry juice each evening, Joe noticed less muscle soreness, deeper, more restorative sleep, and greater motivation to exercise consistently. Why not just take ibuprofen? Because while NSAIDs can reduce soreness, frequent use may actually interfere with muscle growth after exercise. Tart cherries, on the other hand, help balance inflammation naturally without blocking your body's healthy muscle adaptation. The key takeaway here: recovery isn't just about resting. It's about giving your body the right tools to rebuild. Smart recovery isn't passive. It's an active process supported by nutrition. Practical tip: drink a half to 1 cup of tart cherry juice about 1 hour before bed. Use frozen or dried tart cherries in oatmeal or smoothies. Choose concentrate diluted with water to lower sugar intake. But after inflammation, we still need to address another essential piece: energy stability. Without enough clean, steady fuel, your body may start breaking down protein for energy, exactly what we don't want when building muscle. In the next section, we'll explore how oats help fuel your muscles, regulate hormones, and support recovery after 55. Number 6. Power Food 4. Oats, the cortisol buffer and glycogen rebuilder. We've talked a lot about protein, blood flow, recovery, and hormones. But there's another silent factor that can quietly sabotage muscle growth after 55. Cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone. Now, cortisol isn't always bad. It helps wake you up in the morning. It plays a role in energy regulation. But when cortisol stays elevated, especially in the evening, trouble begins. Muscle breakdown accelerates. Belly fat accumulates. Sleep becomes disrupted. Blood sugar rises. And your body struggles to recover after workouts. A study from the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism shows older adults tend to maintain higher evening cortisol levels compared to younger individuals. This leads to poorer sleep, morning fatigue, and most importantly, stalled muscle recovery. So what natural, simple solution can help calm cortisol at night? Complex carbohydrates, especially oats. Oats are unique because they digest slowly, keeping blood sugar stable, contain beta-glucans, nourishing gut bacteria and supporting overall health, and crucially, help reduce nighttime cortisol. Let's check in with Joe again. After adding oats to his evening routine, a half-cup cooked oats, a few frozen tart cherries, a tablespoon of pumpkin seeds. Within 2 weeks, Joe reported falling asleep more easily, feeling refreshed upon waking, greater endurance during workouts. Why does this work? A small amount of complex carbs at night triggers a gentle insulin response. Insulin naturally lowers cortisol. At the same time, carbs help replenish glycogen, the stored energy your muscles need. The key takeaway here: building muscle isn't just about protein. It's about energy balance and hormonal harmony. Without sufficient clean carbohydrates, your body may convert protein into glucose for energy, robbing your muscles of the building blocks they need. Practical tip: eat a half to 1 cup of cooked oats 2-3 hours before bed. Combine with slow-digesting protein like cottage cheese. Add tart cherries or pumpkin seeds for extra recovery support. But even with protein, blood flow, inflammation control, and energy balance, there's still one more critical layer: micronutrients, the tiny conductors that coordinate your entire muscle-building system. In the next part, we'll explore how pumpkin seeds, small but mighty, help ignite that system through magnesium and hormonal support. Number 7. Power Food 5. Pumpkin seeds, the micronutrient ignition key. We've covered protein, circulation, recovery, energy, and hormones. But your muscles, especially after 55, also crave something less visible: micronutrients. Muscle doesn't just run on calories and protein. Every contraction, every fiber repair depends on enzymes, electrical signals, and hormones, all of which require critical vitamins and minerals. At the center of this system sits a mineral most people overlook: magnesium. Magnesium is involved in over 300 enzymatic reactions, including protein synthesis, muscle contraction, nervous system regulation, energy production ATP, Testosterone and IGF-1 balance. Unfortunately, studies show nearly 50% of older adults are magnesium deficient, especially those who take diuretics, use acid reflux medications, or eat low amounts of leafy greens, seeds, and legumes. Let's check in with Joe once more. Despite improving his nutrition, he still experienced occasional nighttime muscle cramps, mild nervous tension, lingering post-workout fatigue. After adding 2-3 tablespoons of roasted pumpkin seeds daily, his symptoms improved noticeably within just a few weeks. Why? Magnesium helps regulate calcium flow in and out of muscle cells, preventing cramps and stiffness. It calms the nervous system and promotes deeper sleep. Magnesium, along with zinc in pumpkin seeds, supports natural testosterone production. The key takeaway here: muscle building isn't just about fuel, it's about fine-tuning the engine. You can fill the gas tank with protein and carbs, but if your spark plug's enzymes, hormones are misfiring due to micronutrient deficiencies, your muscle engine won't run efficiently. Practical tip: eat 2-3 tablespoons of roasted pumpkin seeds daily. Sprinkle them into oats, yogurt, or smoothies, particularly helpful as part of your evening recovery meal. But even with all these nutritional pieces in place, there's still one master signal that amplifies everything: strength training itself. In the next part, we'll explore how resistance exercise acts as the ultimate amplifier for muscle growth, especially after 55. Number 8, the overlooked hormonal piece: testosterone and IGF-1 after 55. We've covered nutrition, blood flow, recovery, energy, and micronutrients. But behind it all operates a quiet control center that many people overlook: your hormones. After 55, natural hormonal changes begin to influence muscle growth. Testosterone levels in men decline by 1–2% per year after age 40. IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1, a hormone critical for muscle tissue growth, also declines. In women, post-menopause estrogen decreases, which also lowers natural testosterone levels, impacting both muscle mass and bone density. The result? It becomes harder to maintain lean muscle, strength declines, belly fat accumulates, energy drops, even memory and mood can be affected. But here's the good news: this isn't destiny. For most healthy adults, hormones can be supported naturally without immediately resorting to hormone replacement. Let's revisit Joe. When he started his strength journey, his doctor checked his labs: total testosterone, 360 ng/dL on the lower side of normal. IGF-1, also below average for his age. Instead of rushing into hormone therapy, Joe focused on eating whole eggs each morning, adding pumpkin seeds to his evening meal, strength training consistently with light resistance bands and bodyweight exercises. 6 months later, testosterone rose naturally to 430 ng/dL. IGF-1 improved. His energy, strength, and mood all lifted significantly. Why does this approach work? Healthy fats from eggs, avocado, and seeds provide raw materials for testosterone. Magnesium and zinc support enzyme function for hormone production. Deeper sleep from improved recovery maximizes growth hormone release. Strength training signals your brain to maintain higher levels of IGF-1. The key takeaway here: after 55, hormones don't disappear overnight, but they do need your cooperation to stay balanced. Hormones are like a fireplace. They don't need to burn wildly, but they do need steady fuel to stay warm. And your daily choices quietly stoke that fire. Practical tips to support hormones naturally: eat healthy fats, eggs, nuts, seeds, avocado. Ensure adequate magnesium and zinc intake. Strength train 2–3 times per week. Prioritize quality sleep. And as nutrition, hormones, exercise, and recovery work together, your body begins to understand. We are not done, we are still building. But now that you've learned each individual piece, how do you put it all together into a simple, actionable daily plan? That's exactly what we'll cover next. your complete daily blueprint. Number 9, the lifestyle multiplier. Strength training as the muscle signal amplifier. We've assembled all the building blocks: quality protein, efficient blood flow, recovery and inflammation control, hormonal balance, micronutrient support. But none of it works without the master signal that activates it all: strength training. After 55, strength training isn't optional, it's the core signal telling your body, we're still using these muscles. Don't let them go. Science calls this mechanical loading. Every time you push, pull, squat, or lift something, you place tension on your muscles. This tension activates mTOR, IGF-1, and testosterone, initiating muscle protein synthesis. Let's check back with Joe once again. For years, he only walked daily. It helped his heart but didn't stop muscle loss. Once Joe started simple strength routines, chair squats, wall push-ups, resistance band rows, calf raises. After just 3 months, standing up from chairs became easier. Carrying grandkids felt stable. And most importantly, he felt stronger every single week. You don't need an expensive gym. You don't need heavy weights. What you do need: light resistance. Consistency: 2-3 sessions per week. Safe, gradual progression. The key takeaway: muscle isn't built by chance. It's built by consistent, intentional signals. Nutrition provides the materials. Strength training sends the construction order. Practical starting routine: chair squats, sit to stand, wall push-ups, resistance band pulls, calf raises. 2-3 sets per exercise, 8-12 repetitions. Focus on safety first, proper form, then gradual progression. And as you combine movement with nutrition, your entire biology shifts toward growth, resilience, and independence. Now that we've covered every piece, it's time to tie it all together into a daily plan you can start right now. Number 10. The 3-part daily blueprint for building muscle after 55. We've explored every piece of the puzzle. The right kind of protein, efficient nutrient delivery, natural inflammation control, energy balance, micronutrient support, hormonal optimization, the master signal of strength training. But now you may wonder, how do I actually fit this into a real busy day? Let's simplify everything into one 3-part daily blueprint, a routine you can begin today. Part 1. Morning. Build and prime. Goal: fuel your muscles, balance hormones, and start your day strong. Sample breakfast: 2-3 whole eggs, a half cup cooked oats, a handful of blueberries. Simple habit: take a 15-20 minute walk after breakfast. Get 10 minutes of morning sunlight for natural vitamin D. Joe's morning routine like this left him feeling clear-headed, energized, ready for his day. Part 2. Afternoon. Activate and deliver. Goal: stimulate muscle protein synthesis and enhance blood flow. Activities: 15-20 minutes of light strength training, chair squats, wall push-ups, band rows, calf raises. Drink a half to 1 cup of beet juice about 1 hour beforehand. Why? Beets increase nitric oxide, improving circulation. Strength training activates your anabolic pathways. After adding this afternoon routine, Joe experienced easier movement, less joint stiffness, noticeable strength gains. Part 3. Evening. Recover and repair. Goal: promote deep recovery, regulate hormones, and prepare for restful sleep. Evening meal: a half cup cooked oats, tart cherries or diluted cherry concentrate, 2-3 tablespoons pumpkin seeds, a half cup cottage cheese. Simple habit: turn off screens 30 minutes before bed, read or relax to calm your nervous system. Joe found he fell asleep faster, woke up refreshed, recovered faster after workouts. The final lesson: after 55, you don't need dramatic changes. You need small, consistent steps. Each choice compounds: 1 meal, 1 workout, 1 good night's sleep. And those small wins build new strength, energy, and confidence. The journey after 55 isn't a race against time. It's a gentle reminder that your body is still listening. You may have heard, after 60, it's all downhill. I'm lucky just to avoid getting sick. But the truth is, your body hasn't given up on you. and you don't have to give up on it. Each small action, a protein-rich breakfast, a short strength workout, a better night's sleep, sends a powerful signal. We are still building. Muscle isn't built overnight, but it always starts with one intentional step today. So here's my invitation. Choose one simple habit we discussed. Start it tonight. Tomorrow, notice how you feel. If you found this video helpful, like this video to help others find it. Subscribe to the channel for more science-backed strategies after 55. Comment below, which habit will you start today? I'd love to hear your journey. Because in the end, you're not alone. We're a community of people learning, adapting, and growing stronger, one day at a time.